Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today I have another book review for you, and we are continuing with my Discworld Journey with Interesting Times by Terry Pratchett. Interesting Times is one of the Rincewind stories, which I'm actually pleased to see Rincewind back because he's been mentioned, but I don't think since The Colour of Magic we've had a Rincewind story. And it's great to see Rincewind with Pratchett being further down his writing career. I have, as always, quite a lot of Terry Pratchett quotes for you guys because it's Pratchett. Of course there's a lot of quotes to give you guys. So I will give you guys a few, and then I will say spoiler alert if you haven't read this book, so that you can skip to a time after for the overall review. I will warn you, but as always with my book reviews, I'll read you guys the blurb first. Before we get into that, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Your continuous support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. So, because of the edition that this is, blurbs aren't really a thing for Pratchett books anymore, but I'll read you what is on the back. It says, mighty battles, revolution, death, war, and his sons, Terror and Panic, and daughter, Clancy. I think that is the only information. Oh, there's another one. It says, there is a curse. They say, may you live in interesting times. And that's it. But if you are a Pratchett fan, you know from that front cover that that is Rincewind. It is. He's got Wizard written on his head, on his hat. And that is not the Great Wall of China, but based on the Great Wall of China. I loved this book. It was so funny. After my last book that I read, which was Soul Music by Terry Pratchett, if you haven't seen that review, that link is above me now, I did feel a little let down by Soul Music, so I was very happy to read this one because Pratchett is back for me and I love this read, and it made me so happy. So let's get into some of these quotes that I gathered. The first one is page 3. The Hongs, the Sungs, the Tongs, the McSweeneys and the Fangs. Them? I didn't know they were noble, said Io. They're all very rich and have had millions of people butchered or tortured to death merely for reasons of expediency and pride, said Lady. The watching gods nodded solemnly. That was certainly noble behaviour. I just love this. This is just the very opening of Pratchett, and the gods don't come back until the end, which I really liked because sometimes in the older books it felt choppy and stoppy-starty because things kept coming back in and back out. That's not how we did this one, so it runs really smoothly, which I super enjoyed. And also just noble behaviour is obviously torturing people and killing them. We all know that. On page 8, I wonder if you could tell me who is the great wizard? Ridcully considered this. The Dean, possibly, he said. He must be all of 20 stone. Somehow I feel that is not perhaps the right answer. This is when Lord Veterinary summons Ridcully to ask him who the Great Wizard is because they need the Great Wizard to be sent somewhere. And the Dean has of course thought Great Wizard just meant the largest wizard because that's greatness in his eyes. Veterinary's like, no. In pure veterinary fashion, I love Veterinary. On page 13, I cherish my ignorance on the subject, said Lord Veterinary. Right, no matter what the circumstances, I treasure my ignorance on the matter. This must be in circulation. Why is this not part of my general day-to-day sayings? It must be corrected. I need that saying in my life. Like, just, yes. Page 47. So I'll still be in the middle of a mountain, but in a me-shaped hole, said Rincewind. Oh good, instant fossil. I just love Rincewind's personality because Rincewind is a character who's always running away, always in trouble, never in control of the situation, and yet he is actually so smart, and I love that about him. Like, he still is so sarky, and everyone thinks he's the ridiculous one, but actually he often makes the most sense out of all the characters in these books. He's going to be turned into a fossil, by the way, because they're going to shoot him and he might hit a mountain, and if he does he would just sort of enter the middle of it, so therefore a fossil straight away. On page 136, Mr. Saveloy sighed. Genghis, I do rather get the impression that several thousand years of the patient development of fiscal propriety have somewhat passed you by. Right, I have a question for you all. Comment down below what you think the answer is. What came first? Interesting Times or Blackadder? Because all that came to my head was Baldwick with the, if we have 2 beans. And we add 2 more beans. What do we have? And he says, a very small casserole. And then he says, oh, some beans. And then he says 3, and that one. So if we add that one, what do we have? Oh, some beans. It's that humour. And this isn't the first time I've referenced Blackadder with Terry Pratchett. And I just want to know, was Pratchett helping the writing crew on Blackadder? Or were the Blackadder writing crew reading Pratchett? Or was Pratchett super into Blackadder? Either or, I love it. On page 165, I've got a good one, he said. It's a vanishing trick. Can you do it now? Only if everyone opens all the doors and turns their back. Again, Rincewind's been asked to do magic, and this is just a Rincewind way of dealing with a situation of, yeah, I can vanish. Like, oh, can you show us? Yeah, if you all turn around and open the doors. It's just genius. I love it. I'm going to say spoiler alert now because we're getting further into the book. I only have a couple more quotes, so spoiler alert if you haven't read Interesting Times or you don't want any spoilers from the story, then skip to this time here for my overall review of the book, but spoiler alert. Page 186. Don't you see, we are at large in the Forbidden City. Not me, said Rincewind. I've never been at large. I've always been hunched. I can't say it again. It's just great. Page 219. Oh yes, I recall. I said, did I not, that I would neither say nor write any order for your death. And I must keep my word. Otherwise, what am I? He folded the last crease and opened his hands, putting the little paper decoration on the liqueur table beside him. Herb and the guards stared at it. Guard, take him away, said Lord Hong. It was a marvellously constructed paper figure of a man, but there didn't seem to have been enough paper for his head. Showing instead of telling. This is just a great example, as I always say when I review a Pratchett book, of showing and not telling. Lord Hong cannot ask for this guy to be beheaded because he promised him he wouldn't write or say it. He's told the guard to take him away and left a very not so subtle hint that he wishes him to no longer have a head. Okay, my last quote, and it's mainly me gushing, on page 334 to 335. You ready for it? In front, Two-Flower recognised was something he'd once owned. It was a very cheap one, he said, to no one in particular. I always thought that there was something a little warped about it, to tell you the truth. It was followed by slightly larger luggage, and then in descending order of size for 4 little chests, the smallest being about the size of a lady's handbag. Can they do that, he said, make new ones? I thought it needed carpenters. I suppose it learned many things in Ankh-Morpork, said Butterfly. Luggage has babies! Right, you know when you watch Shrek and Donkey and Dragon have babies? I get the same joy from luggage having babies. Oh, they just, in my head, they are the cutest, most evil little demon luggages you've ever seen. That obviously made the end for me. I just loved it. And welcome back. If you've joined us from the spoiler-free section, I'll now go through my overall review of the book. Overall, the structure was great. There's no easing you in. It just, the story starts and you go, which I really appreciated and enjoyed. It's a Rincewind story, but one with a lot more excitement and more plot. When you read The Colour of Magic, it's funny, but it's lots of snippets of things happening, whereas this is just one cohesive thing happening with Rincewind involved. Bless him. So it's a really fast read, great structure. It's very satisfying and has a great ending. And because I do find as well for some Pratchett books the ending just sort of happens, but this ending makes a lot of sense and does have a proper full climax for it. Great characterization as always of Pratchett. I will say, to read Interesting Times, I would recommend reading The Colour of Magic first if you haven't. Even though it is known to be not Pratchett's best work, this book does refer back to The Colour of Magic a lot. Now, you can get away with not reading it. It's just some of the jokes you'll get, but it will need explained to you a little bit. Whereas if you've read The Colour of Magic, you'll instantly get it before Pratchett does the small explanation. So a lot of things are explained, but I think you'd enjoy it more if you have read The Colour of Magic first. And that's it for my Interesting Times by Terry Pratchett book review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like what you see. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see it as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Tumblr. I post my bookish pictures as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!